There is no apartment 3B. The building ends at 3A. But every night at 3:47, footsteps walk above David's bedroom. 7 forward, 7 back. A door appears at the end of his hallway, marked 3B. When he takes a photo, it's gone. Inside his closet, boxes he doesn't remember packing. A notebook in his handwriting. If you're reading this, you can see it too. Last night, the footsteps weren't above him. They were moving with him. And this morning, an envelope appeared under his door. He doesn't remember hearing anyone leave it. Now, he's about to open it. David opens the envelope. Inside is a photograph. David asleep in his bed. Taken from the corner of the room. A corner that does not exist. There is no camera there. No shelf. No furniture. Just wall. But in the photograph, the angle is perfect, centered, measured, as if someone had been standing there for a long time. David studies the shadows. They fall differently than they should. The light source is wrong, as if the room exists in a slightly different position. He looks up. The corner of his bedroom is empty. He looks back at the photo. In the image, there is something else. Near the doorway, not close enough to touch him, but close enough to watch. The shape is blurred, not out of focus, just misaligned. David doesn't call the police. He doesn't tell the landlord. He sets up his phone instead, on the dresser, facing the bed. He presses record and waits for 3:47. The footage shows him asleep, still, unmoving, until 3:47. The footsteps begin, but in the video, they don't come from above. The space near the bedroom wall bends, not visibly, but structurally. A second figure steps into frame, not from the door, not from the hallway. It steps forward, as if the room unfolded to make space. The figure is David. Same face, same body, same posture. This other David walks around the apartment, adjusts the chair, moves the table a few inches, touches the closet door. He pauses, then slowly, he turns toward the camera. He looks directly into the lens and mouths the words, "He's teaching us." The next morning, the chair is slightly closer to the wall. David doesn't confront the other version of himself. He looks for proof instead. City records, building permits, archived floor plans. The apartment complex was built in 1962. Original blueprints include a unit labeled 3B, but the measurements don't make sense. The walls overlap existing units, hallways cut through bedrooms, Closets intersect with kitchens. Dimensions extend beyond the building's exterior frame. It isn't an extra apartment. It's a shared space, folded between others. 3 residents were registered under 3B, all deceased. Cause listed as fire damage. But there are no newspaper reports, no photographs, no insurance claims, only a short note in the margin of one permit. Structural irregularity contained. David overlays the old blueprint with the current layout. The lines don't replace each other. They stack, like transparent sheets. 3B doesn't sit above him. It sits through him. That night, the door at the end of the hallway returns. Clearer, more defined. The brass number plate polished, as if recently touched. The footsteps no longer come from above. They come from behind it. David stands in front of the door. This time, it doesn't disappear when he looks at it. He turns the handle. The door opens. Inside is not an apartment. It's a hallway. Long, narrow, lit by the same ceiling lights as his own. Doors line both sides, each marked 3B, all slightly open. David steps inside. The door behind him remains open. Through the first doorway, he sees his apartment, but older, the furniture worn, the walls yellowed. An elderly version of himself sits in the chair, alone. Through the second doorway, the apartment is burned. Blackened ceiling, collapsed plaster, smoke damage frozen in time. Through the third, a stranger lives there, unaware, unbothered. At the far end of the hallway, he sees his own apartment, present day, lights on, 2 figures inside. David sits on the couch. Across from him, a man in a gray coat. They are having coffee, calmly, like old acquaintances. The version of David on the couch smiles. He nods, as if agreeing to something. The gray-coated figure lifts his cup. David backs away. The hallway seems longer now. The doors begin to close, one by one. He turns and finds himself back inside his apartment. Everything normal. On the coffee table, 2 cups, both warm. David doesn't drink coffee. He checks his phone. The recording from earlier plays. It shows him that morning, making 2 cups, placing one across from himself, smiling, speaking softly. In the video, someone is sitting there. The gray-coated figure. Clear. Still. Another photograph lies on the table. David opening his front door. 1 year in the future. Smiling. Greeting someone outside. The gray-coated figure. David stares at the image. He almost remembers doing it. Almost.